Welcome everyone. Here, you'll find engaging discussions about the sun sign of Scorpio, thought-provoking discussions, and so much more. Grab a cup of your favorite beverage, sit back, and let's dive into this exciting channel together.
I do.
What
In
we're
fact,
looking
I
at?
can see. I can.
All right,
Yes,
so you can see there really has been some extraordinary damage. Do you happen to recognize that area?
Well, that appears to me to either be the area we're seeing right now in those live shots from above. The houses in the area in which that fire is taking place right now are similar in style to those. Again, I can't tell you for certain that is tape there of what you are seeing or what we have been seeing live. But it appears
of damage and injuries in the San Francisco Bay Area, partial collapse of buildings in San Jose, one person dead of a heart attack there and 4 injured, damage in San Benito, Santa Clara, San Mateo, and it was felt in western Nevada. And unfortunately,
now the major damage has been done. It is the primary link, of course, between the cities of San Francisco and Oakland. And it's graphically illustrated right there. Fortunately, and there, of course, is a car in between the collapsed sections. We have
on any video, have not heard it confirm aspects of the story, but you can see the crack in the sidewalk there. On the Richter scale, you can see some video there. I gather that's fires that seem to be in progress there. But I'll tell you what, let me go instead now to Bruce Hall, who is at our bureau in San Francisco. And Bruce, maybe you can just give me a sense of what happened, when it happened, and how you became aware of the fact that there was an earthquake in progress.
all right, I was getting ready to record.
At Candlestick Park, Al, I assume that you're looking at the same video that I'm seeing right now, which is a terrible fire somewhere in San Francisco. Do you know the area well enough to be able to tell us where that is?
Ted, I'm not certain that I'm seeing
What happens is that these fires are a consequence of ruptured gas lines. So there you see a fire blazing with what I believe is the Golden Gate Bridge directly behind, but it is the other bridge, the Bay Bridge, that Al Michael was talking about just a moment ago, where a 30 to 50 foot span of the upper level has collapsed onto the lower level.
The earthquake centered in the small resort town of Santa Cruz, but jolted the entire Bay Area. Here you can see power lines swaying with a force. A tourist took this home video of a portion of the Bay Bridge that collapsed. A car was unable to stop. The upper level simply fell to the section below, killing one motorist. But probably the worst destruction happened in Oakland, on the 880 freeway. The upper level crushed hundreds of people driving on the lower level. The biggest problem for firefighters in San Francisco were the many gas lines that ruptured and actually exploded, causing uncontrollable blazes that could be seen for miles. The crews couldn't use water to douse them because that would have caused toxic fumes to spread over the city. The death toll, as of about 11:30 Eastern Time, was 272, more than 650 people injured.
See you.
One of the great powers of this nation is that when something like that happens in San Francisco, then in New York, everybody involved is a New Yorker or a Rochesterian. I know that we all feel exactly the same way, that those are our brothers, our sisters, that's our family, 271 of them already dead, probably many, many more than that by the time they count the final tally.
We weren't there 2 months before this earthquake came, and that was the biggie in Illinois.
Tony Colicchino was only 8 years old when the big one hit San Francisco in 1906. He shared his memories of that day with other senior citizens at a community center in Newark today.
This civic center area of Santa Cruz has been leveled. An enormous amount of property damage, probably a dozen deaths that have occurred in small Santa Cruz County.
Cars, people.
We went completely down both sides of the street, discovering about 5 buildings with the interiors collapsed and about 5 different spots people were trapped.
Under the cover of darkness, crews worked feverishly to locate survivors and to put out fires. The Army an entire block. 8 people died, 100 injured. With the daylight came the horror of it all, reminiscent of a war zone. The quake struck with vengeance, causing a portion of the San Francisco Bay Bridge to collapse.
We understand on this half-mile section, there may be as many as 20 cars smashed underneath there.
But it was on the Interstate 880 freeway near Oakland where the earthquake caused the single worst loss of life. 253 people killed when the double-decker freeway smashed together like a sandwich, the top collapsing down on hundreds of motorists on their way home from work.
It was rush hour. There's a lot of cars that have just been flattened. I don't know.
Today, airline passengers hovered in vain at the airport to try and find a way back home. It was not to be. Residents went about the business of trying to clean up, of inspecting what remained, as scores of buildings were knocked down, damaged, or destroyed. One estimate is that damage will run into the billions of dollars. And the fear is that the death toll will rise. Wanda Miller, News Source 13.
Native Rochesterian Chris Doggett was on the collapsed Bay Bridge just minutes before the quake hit. His mom, Sue Doggett of Bright, just the other day. She talked to her sister, Alice Bright, also in the earthquake area and also surviving her home.
It's silly because I'm going to get teary, but I really was scared because I didn't know how bad it was, and I couldn't get through to them. I couldn't get through to them at all, so I was really scared.
This Kodak worker's son lives with his wife in Santa Clara, north of San Francisco. They are also okay, but not their $400,000 home.
The walls opened up, and good cracks down the walls, and the bedroom, one of the bedrooms, the plaster came down from the ceiling. I mean, the ceiling dropped on the floor, and everything got shook up, absolutely shook up there.
We were also able to talk by phone to attorney Tim Morgan, whose wife is from Penfield. They live in Santa Cruz, California, one of the areas the quake hit hardest.
I honestly thought my office building was going to fall down. And since I was on the second floor, I wasn't looking forward to it. Many
The
buildings
Morgans and their home are intact. In fact, most of the local folks we talked to have contacted their family out in California and have found them shaken, but happy to be alive. Donna Lacey, News Source 13,